Hello everybody. Today I've decided to make a video explaining how to disassemble and reassemble balisongs. There's a lot of new people to the hobby and beginners that don't know the best way to do it, and they get frustrated and end up relying on other people for their basic maintenance, cleaning, or tuning. And I was like that when I first started, so decided to help people out. To get started, what I use is a mini 1/4-inch hex screwdriver. The small ones are nice because you can really get that downward pressure on it, and it helps prevent stripping the screws. I also use a little pin punch to help align everything and get the washers into place, and some carbon honey lubricant after we're done cleaning it and reassembling it, just to get everything working smoothly. Also, some caffeine is nice to have. And then a microfiber type of towel or something to work on also helps. Makes everything easy, doesn't get any hairs in anything. So let's get right into it. Be working on the Machine-Wise Serif today. So like I said, you really want to get that downward pressure on the screws as you're taking them out. And I really full crank my screws, like really full crank the screws. So this is where the pin punch helps. So now we have everything apart. I just like to kind of rub this stuff on the towel, get the lubricant, used lubricant, and some dirt off. You can go in there with a Q-tip or whatever. I'm not really going to do that. Just kind of cleaning off the washers of all the dirt and lubricant. And then I just take the blade, get it nice and clean there. So how I like to start the assembly is, first of all, you get the bushings in there, and then I like to sandwich it with both sides of washers, and then I kind of like to finesse, like with the other hand, get the pivot pin in there, and then kind of like this, I put the whole assembly in there. And then the first part is you just line up here, the snap there. It's really easy to align that first washer and in the bushing. And then with that second washer, if you got some fingernails, you can kind of just push it into place. Kind of just goes together. If you're having a little trouble, I like to just kind of smack the Zen pin together a little bit, and it'll go in. And the magnetic screwdriver tip really helps with keeping the screw on there. Makes things a little bit easier when you're working with like one hand. And you can kind of press the back of the pivot pin, or you can press the blade on the Zen pin and kind of sandwich it in there to keep the pivot pin from rotating while you're tightening. And we'll do the same thing on the other side one more time. So you sandwich the washers together, and then you kind of put it right in there. And then you just snap that first washer, find where the bushing is, and that second washer, just like that. So I really full crank it. Get that downward pressure on the screw. These T15s can really take a beating. Pretty decent tolerances here on the Serif. And then you just take your lubricant. Put a little bit here on the inside. You really don't need much, just a little bit, because it's going to all go in the washers, and it's very little space with the lubricant in the washers and the bushings anyway, because the tolerances are pretty good. And then you just kind of work it in there. You can kind of like wiggle the handles back and forth, kind of get it in the gaps. Flip it a little bit. And then I like to kind of get the excess. Sometimes you get excess like on you here, and it kind of can mess up the sound of it and make it not as, you know, nice. I like to just kind of clean that off where those end pins touch. And you can kind of open it, close it a couple times, do it again, and eventually all the excess will just be gone. And that's about it. It's fairly easy. Just that's my method of doing it. You all have a nice day. Catch you in the next video.